So now we're going to look at what happens when we put two inequalities together. And that creates for us what we call a compound inequality. So it's two of them put straight together, and they're connected with either the word and, or they're connected with the word or. And whichever word we're using helps us know what's going on in the scenario. Our and inequalities are inequalities where we're creating a range that the number's going to fall between. We can see that with our graphed answer. We have our two edges and then all of the shading on the inside to show that our answers are going to be all the numbers between the edges. When we write that out, we write it out like this. That variable goes right in the middle, since we know that's where our answers are going to be, with the two outside numbers on either side. Usually it's the smaller one, then it's less than our variable, then it's less than the bigger number. On the other side, or is what happens when we have two different spots and they're going in different directions. So we can see that x is less than 0, so we've got our point here going this way, or our solution's going to have to be bigger than 5, so going this direction. So and is filling in the middle, or is going either direction. Now when we want to write these inequalities for ourselves, just like before, we're going to need to be looking for keywords. So now we're trying to see, are they looking for solutions that fall in the middle of the numbers, or are they going opposite directions? So if we look at letter A, we see all real numbers x in between -2 and 9. Well, that in between seems like a good clue as to what kind of inequality I'm going to need. If I need those numbers to fall between these two pieces, I know that's an example of an and inequality. So we've got -2 falling between x and 9. Now notice it didn't say anything about the numbers being or equal to these numbers. They fall in between. So because it can't equal -2 or -9, that's how I knew to just use my less than signs. I'm not going to combine them and have both. If we look at letter D, this time we've got the sum of x and a number 4 is less than 1 or greater than 7. So again, the first thing I see is that sum of x and a number 4. So that's like last unit. We've got to be able to put that together. Well, sum means addition, so I know we're taking x and we're adding 4. Now the question here is this an and scenario, or is this going to be an or scenario? Well, I see two things happening in this problem. We have a number being less than 1 or greater than 7. Notice it says or right in the problem. So we know that this is going to be an example of an or scenario. So we have to write two inequalities connecting them with the word or. So we need our value to be less than 1, or we know that it needs to be x plus 4 is greater than 7. So you're looking for the same kinds of keywords that we did last time to help us know what kind of signs to use, and also if we're going to be dealing with an and inequality or an or inequality. So go ahead, try a couple of these examples, check your answers before moving on to what the graphs are going to look like for these.